I injured myself 3 different times working on this guitar yesterday. To hear more about that, stick around right after this. Hello my friends, Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa String Works Workshop. Today is Thursday, September 8th. And the first order of business is to mention that we have shop talk in the morning starting at 8 o'clock my time. And I would like to hear your ideas for what you would like me to dive into. I can dive into almost any subject with the instruments. I prefer not to dive into the finish because I'm not a finish expert. I can tell you what I do on finishes, but that's just about as good as it gets on the finish. Regarding just about everything else, whether you were talking setup or break fix or, repairing damages, holes, whatever, if there's something you want me to dive into, just put that in the comments of this video and I'll see what I can do tomorrow. Yeah, I did hurt myself 3 different ways on this. One is I got a blister right here on this finger, as you can probably see there. I don't know if it shows up. That didn't feel good. I got another blister on the other side too. Cut myself on my thumb and just about thought I broke my arm right here. Why would all that happen? Well, I'm using the StewMac tool, reaching in there and pulling on that bridge plate. Well, to pull on that, your arm is hitting that sound hole right here. That sound hole is rubbing on this really hard as I'm pulling. And man, I had to put ice on that for 15-20 minutes last night trying to get that to settle down. That was hurting so bad. I worked on this about 2 hours trying to get that bridge plate out of there. I managed to get about 80% of the bridge plate out of there, but there's still about 20% left. You know the old 80-20 rule. 80% of it takes 20% of the time, and 20% of it takes 80% of the time. Well, that's where we're at on this, and it may turn out to be more like 90-10 in this case. Oh my gosh. Fine, I wasn't getting any progress on taking this bridge plate out at all. And I really never had that problem before. I mean, they're not easy, don't get me wrong. They're always hard. But this one just wasn't having any of it at all. So finally, I put it aside for a little while, think about it. That's usually when I come up with my best ideas, is if I'm just not working on it. And I got to thinking that maybe I should just wet that bridge plate down. And so I took a wet shop towel and went in there and rubbed the bridge plate itself down a lot and just soaked it and then re-soaked it and soaked it and re-soaked it. So I got it as wet as I could get it. Then I put my heater tool, my bridge removal tool, put that up on the inside of the instrument against the bridge plate, and you could hear it sizzling and steam was coming out the holes and all that. Then I heated up this tool and grabbed a hold of it and yanked a whole bunch of it out there. It started coming almost instantly. So I thought, well, I found the secret to life right there, And I mean, it wasn't easy even that way. I'll just tell you, it was not easy. You might think, oh, well, it was, just reach in there and grab it out. No, it wasn't like that. It was still a whole bunch of work. And I finally got 80% of it out of there. But like I said, that last little piece, I've got a piece about that long and about a 1/2 inch wide that's over on the base front corner here that just does not want to give up. And I tried for another hour just on that spot alone. And so guess what I get to do today? And I'm going to try not to hurt myself so bad. Man, I'm telling you. Yeah, what I was doing here was I was sharpening this. Well, actually, it wasn't while I was sharpening this, now that I take that back. But I did sharpen this. But then later, I started filing these things off to round off the corners because they're sharp. And somehow or another, the file slipped and my hand went right across that and cut my thumb pretty good. Anyway, yeah, there you go. So that's how I keep injuring myself here doing this. But in the long run, and in the end, you all know, I will win. There's no way I'm giving up. And by the way, I remodified this tool, which is, and this is a pulling tool, so you can pull this way. Well, this one reaches around that brace that's in the front, the X brace, and you can push with this tool. Well, I knocked off a big chunk all the way to these bridge pins. I knocked off the back chunk all the way there, and that knocked that off pretty easy, you know, after I wet it down, of course. And then I still couldn't get anything else to happen. So I kept wetting it down and kept heating it up. And so then I took this from the front, and that knocked off another 2/3 of what was left and just left that last little piece over here. And this, I still can't get that piece off even with this. Did you ever hear it's not easy being me? If you were a luthier, it wouldn't be easy being you either. Oh, I'll get it eventually. Basically what you're doing when you're taking something like this out of there, you've heard me say you're breaking it. So it's basically delicate mass destruction. That's what you're doing. So you're trying to take it apart or break it apart as best you can without creating actual damage to the parts you need. And so far that's happened. I really can look in there and honestly say there's nothing in there that's going to be a problem. Now, when I pushed it back the other direction, on that one on the treble side, well, there were some fibers of the spruce that did pull down, but they're easy to put right back in place, and they're just hanging there more or less. So that's not a big issue. They're thin and wispy anyway. There's no big deal. So whenever I, go to putting the bridge plate in there, I'll just put glue on that. They'll go right back in place, and then I'll put the bridge plate on there and glue everything back, and it'll be fine. I'm just hoping the other side will come out with that minimal amount of damage. As of right now, I can't prove that one way or the other. Wish me well. We'll see you tomorrow for Shop Talk. Thank you so much for checking in with me.